Welcome to the worst financial mistakes in the Bible and how you can avoid them. In today's session, we're going to cover chapter 10, Compromising Our Mission. You know, this may not sound like a problem, but far too often Christians don't even know what our mission is. Do you remember when Jesus stated his mission? He was just a boy. He went into the temple, unrolled the scroll, and read from Isaiah 61. And it said this, "The Spirit of the Sovereign Lord is upon me, for he has anointed me to, number one, preach the good news. Number two, to bind up the brokenhearted. And number three, to set the captives free." Now that was his stated mission. Everything in his life was centered around fulfilling what God sent him here to do. So what was Satan's mission? To get him to compromise any way possible. And when we examine the three temptations, those temptations were all designed to get Jesus off course, to get him distracted, to get him interested in fulfilling his own needs and doing his own thing, to get him to compromise by accepting Satan's generosity. You see, we have to recognize that Satan's goal, just like it was with Jesus, is to get us just a little bit off course. You know, mission compromise is a trap for all of us. I was reading the other day about a Jewish man named Ari Mandel. He believed that he had done enough good works that he had earned a seat in heaven. So he decided he didn't want it, and he put it up for auction on eBay. There were actually bids to buy his seat in heaven that got up to $100,000 US before eBay made him take it down because they knew he couldn't deliver on his promise to sell that seat to somebody else. Isn't that interesting? Even as a Jewish man, he said he wasn't here to gain a seat in heaven or to follow the ways of God. He wanted the money. He had compromised completely. And this happens to so many of us. Right now it's happening in China. China is beginning to grow and prosper. And malls and shopping centers are popping up all over the country. And the church that was once growing is now threatened because people are becoming preoccupied with getting high-end luxury goods. You see people on the street who make an average wage, yet they're working to buy a $3,000 French-made designer purse or handbag or matching shoes. They want to look important. And now they're preoccupied with getting the things that Satan has said will give their life significance. And it's an actual threat to the spread of the gospel and the growth of the church. Mission compromise happens to all of us. We can get off track. We forget that God sent us here to spread the good news, to bind up the brokenhearted, and to set the captives free. And what are they captive to? The things of this world. You see, there are many consequences to this compromise. First of all, the gospel doesn't go forth. Second of all, we become trapped in a stronghold of comfort. Do you know what a stronghold is? It's when we're so comfortable that Satan has us trapped and we like it. We want to stay there. And we compromise what we're here to do. I've known many capable people who have gotten off mission because their life got so good. Maynard Fuller, who was the founder of Habitat for Humanity, said the greatest tragedy that he's ever seen in America was the gifts and talents of some of the smartest, brightest people being used for nothing more than making money. He said we could change the world if we would just not compromise and sell out to the almighty dollar. And I believe he was right. So, how do we avoid the trap of compromise? We avoid the trap of compromise by recognizing and rejecting Satan's generosity. I want to be clear about this. The Bible makes it clear that both God and Satan are generous. The question and the tension is whose generosity are you going to respond to? God promises us true riches, while Satan promises us riches of the world. Which do you really want? Do you want the true riches to those who are faithful with money? And I'm quoting Luke 16:10 and 11. If we've been faithful in the use of worldly wealth, then God will entrust his true riches to us. But if we're not faithful, we'll fall into the trap and suffer the consequences of failing to advance the gospel and build the church by accepting Satan's generosity. So in summary, we can compromise our mission by falling for Satan's generosity. So we must recognize it and reject it. Yes, he's generous. And yes, he wants to get you off mission. But reject it. Turn your heart over to the generosity of the Lord and say, God, I trust you to provide for my needs. I'll fulfill the mission you've given me. And I'll trust you'll provide all that I need.